So round 35 is just around the corner, and that means the Premier League is coming to an end. If you're expecting another set of congratulations, Victor, I'm not going to congratulate you again. We've already done that last time in our previous videos. So you can do whatever you want to do with your title win. We already know Liverpool are champions, and no one cares anymore. It's gone, done and dusted. Enjoy the win. And there's
Trust
still a
me,
lot of
people
Premier League
care.
action. There's still a lot of Premier League action to go on, anyways. And starting with this weekend, we've got Aston Villa, and it's pretty curious how Villa just crumbled in the space of 2 weeks. You know, they were going for a lot of titles actually, and now they literally just have the top five to fight for. So, Victor, do you think they can still make a Champions League spot after their recent slump?
Yeah, I think there's still a good to very good chance for that. If you look at the schedule, they have Fulham and Spurs at home, Bournemouth and United away. I think at least one of Spurs and United, if not both, will have the Europa League final on their minds. And um, let's face it, I think Villa are good enough to get at least 3 wins from these 4 games. I think I've also mentioned yesterday or the day before, it looks worse than it is for Villa actually, because these 3 losses came in 3 different competitions. So it meant exiting the Champions League, exiting the FA Cup, and the fact that they lost against the fellow top 5 contender against City. So it looks bad, but I don't think it is as bad as it seems at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough. And over to you, Max, in the opposite direction. Do you think Manchester City are now primed for a top four finish after, their fortunes seem to have turned for the better?
If I can add about Aston Villa, the problem for them is they need someone like City or Nottingham Forest to not make it. And I don't see Forest not making it if they win next game, so they're 63. And Man City have pretty easy games upcoming, so they play against Wolves at home, then Southampton, it's 3 points, then Bournemouth at home, and only quite hard game is last round Fulham against on road. So I'm pretty sure City making it, so that's why I don't see Villa making it.
Fair enough. Anyways, moving on. I mean no disrespect to Leicester City and Southampton fans, but like this is one of those fixtures where it seems like it is inconsequential and it doesn't actually matter no matter what happens. And two relegated sides, take on each other. Victor, what kind of fixture can we expect here, given what has already happened to both teams?
Uh, Blindfolded boxing, most likely, right? I think both sides, they again, as you said, no disrespect to the fans, but both sides have been just absolutely wretched. They've been terrible. There's no redeeming either, regardless what happens here. Um, it might be like a small psychological advantage, like, okay, we were shit, but we weren't the shittiest.
Mhm.
I think um, we might either end up seeing a bunch of goals or a 0-0.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I think I agree with that. Over to you, Max. Arsenal lost to PSG at the Emirates, in midweek, first leg of the semi-final Champions League clash, and they will have their mind on the second leg in Paris already. After that loss in midweek, do you think Arsenal are at risk of losing again to Bournemouth?
I mean, this really depends if they're going to change status to let them relax before the second game. So if they play like half first squad, probably they're not winning. But if they play full status, I'm pretty sure they're winning by 2 at least.
Fair enough. And I think it's Mikel Arteta will just have to answer that question because we really don't know his mindset going into that game. But if we are to guess and if we are to, make a pick based on what we've seen, based on last Arsenal's last two Premier League games, it's safe to say it's going to start bench a lot of Arsenal's key players ahead of the second leg. But yeah, moving on, Victor, and it is already the worst domestic season for Manchester United in their Premier League history, no matter how their remaining games end. But do you think their poor run in the league can end against Brentford?
Max, I see you, mate. I see you. Okay, look. If I were a United fan at this point and United draws against Brentford, I would see it as a positive result.
Wow.
I think we can expect to see the kids on the pitch. Amorim has made no doubts about that. He's prioritizing the Europa League. Their whole season hinges on that, and it's fair. You know, they've been so bad this season in the Premier League that there's no point trying to salvage reach the lofty heights of 11th place or what there's no point in it. So yeah, I think Brentford have a very good chance. They still have an outside chance to make the UEFA spots, whereas United don't, and that sounds absolutely mental.
Okay, fair enough. Anyways, United fans are holding on to the Europa League as their, backdoor to Champions League spots. But we're going to see how that turns out. I genuinely think the gods of football should not allow a team in 15th place go to the Champions League next season. But anyways, we are going to see how that plays out. But I don't think the gods of football should allow that, in my opinion. And I'm sure Mark, deep down, I'm sure Max agrees with me. But yeah. Anyways, we are going to see how all of that plays out, and let's see if Manchester United end their poor domestic run against Brentford at the weekend. Anyways, we've still got more Premier League talk right here at EPL News, and make sure to catch all our next videos so you don't miss out.